Hey everyone, it's Karen, and on today's podcast, I have author Wes. I met him on Instagram, like I meet most of all of my authors. Thank you for coming on to my show. I really appreciate this. This is exciting.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, sir. All right. So I have some questions I want to ask you about writing, and so let's start with what is the best time of day for you to write?
Best time of day for me to write. I usually write late at night.
Hmm.
I want to say around midnight, between midnight and 3, 4 in the morning. It's very quiet and everyone's sleeping, so I can focus on what I'm doing. I also find out that I get really inspired late at night, so that's usually the time that I set for me to write my books.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea of the quiet part, but normally I like writing during the day while it's quiet. I don't know. I like sleeping. I can't think.
I get distracted. I get distracted easily, so I can't write during the day.
That makes
Anything
sense.
that's happening around me is gonna distract me.
Makes sense. I understand that. So my next question is, how do you know what to write?
Oh wow. So so I write poetry and I also write novels. So it really depends on the mood that I'm in. Also depends on what inspires me. For instance, my books are more about social issues. My poems are more about feelings like love, grief, and things of that nature. So it really depends on what I'm feeling in the moment. Everything that I write is very personal to me. So whatever I'm feeling in the moment, that's what inspires me to write.
I 100% agree with that. I feel like that's with all creators and stuff. For me, especially when I write as well, my poetry, anyways, I write about love or something that I feel like I would want to go through, like experience or something
Right.
with a relationship. So, totally understand that one completely.
Right,
So,
absolutely. I feel like it's very important when you're writing something for the public to be able to relate to what you're writing. But if it's not coming from your heart, it's very hard to get people to relate to what you're saying.
yes, that is true. Because then you won't actually know that author or that artist or whoever. You won't know them personally ever if we don't put a little bit of ourselves out there in our books or art or whatever we're doing. So I understand
Absolutely.
that. All right. So moving on to our next question is, how long does it take you to write a book?
Oh wow, that's a very tough question. That's a very tough question. Because my latest book that I just published last year, it took me 5 years to write it because it's a historical fiction novel. So I had to do a lot of research and I had to fact check and things of that nature. So I think it depends on what I'm writing. A book of poem, I could probably write in 6 months if I'm feeling a lot of emotions. But a
Mm.
novel, it takes me a few years. I want to say at least 3 years to write.
That's actually interesting that you brought that up because one of my books that I have semi kind of ready to publish, I actually needed to do some research for that because I did like it's called Traveling the States, so United
Oh.
States, and I kind of just put each state and then wrote a little bit about like what they're known for. So, example, like everybody knows Georgia is known for Georgia peaches.
Mhm.
So I just wrote a little bit about how their city became about known for peaches, but then I would write other stuff. So yes, researching did take me a long time, and I
Definitely, yeah. That's what takes the most time because you want to be, even if it's a fictional work, you want it to be somewhat accurate. Like the
yeah.
book that I just published last year is about I'm Haitian. I'm pretty sure you probably could tell from the accent, but it's about the history of Haiti and how Haiti became free. So I had to make sure, even though it's mostly fiction, I had to make sure certain things are accurate.
Right. Yeah. There's there's a lot more than people know that goes into writing.
Absolutely, yes.
Most people think it's like, oh, we can just write a couple words on a book or on a piece of paper and there you go. No, no. You some of us
If
actually have
only it was that simple, right?
right. some of us actually have to go through stuff to be creative, or some of us actually, as we were just saying, we have to research for our book. So
Right.
yeah, there's a lot more than just, oh, I love you, he loves me, ta-da, like the end. Like, no, we need more. So next question I have for you, sir, is did you self-publish or go the traditional publishing route, and why?
But I actually self-published.
Mm-hmm.
My first book of poem I self-published, and then I decided to actually create my own publishing company, kind of. So
Oh,
I'm
nice.
publishing under my own imprint. I feel like it gives you so much freedom. Really, when you're going through the traditional route, you're kind of limited in what you can say and what you can write. And sometimes you write a book and then they tell you you have to remove a large portion of it. I feel like it gives me the artistic freedom to publish whatever I want to publish and get my audience. I don't feel like I want to write for any specific audience just for money or for anything like that. I want to touch the people that I want to touch, and I want to be able to say whatever I want to say without anyone telling me not to.
I completely agree with that because whenever I originally started in school wanting to become an author and stuff, I was always like, oh, do everything for me. Well, then I got older and actually researched, found out that they tell you no a lot. And I do not like being told no when it's something that I want to be published. Like, well, and
Right.
period. No one likes to be told no, but like with
I,
this, we want what we want said out there. Like if they'll take they might even take like a part of our book and then add whatever they want. Like
right.
no, that's not
Right.
the
Yeah.
point of the book. That's not the theme. That's not the plot. Whatever. Like that is not what I was aiming for. So like you said, it gives us a lot of self ability to do whatever we please. So I completely agree. Now I'm going to start trying to do that more than the traditional. I mean, traditional, I feel like I'm going to try to get at least one to two for sure out there, like one poetry and then one novel,
Hmm.
so that I can at least say, well, this company backed me up so that I can have on paper, this company liked me enough to help me with this journey, but I prefer, me, myself, and I.
I
So,
get it. I get it. Me personally, I'm very opposed to traditional publishing. I'm
mhm.
opposed to it because I feel like it's a game that these companies play. It's not necessarily, it's about
Mhm.
what's gonna sell, not necessarily if whatever you're saying has some value, but is it gonna sell? Is it gonna appeal to the mass? And I don't like that aspect of it.
Mm-mm. So moving on to the next question is, what important advice would you give a first-time author?
You know what? That actually goes back to whatever we were talking about before. Yeah, the most important thing is to write from your heart, write what you're
Hmm.
feeling.
Yep.
That's the most important thing. You're gonna enjoy it. You don't want to write a book and for it to feel like it's actually work that you're working. You want to enjoy the process, write from your heart, and you're gonna find your niche.
Yep. Completely. Yep, that summarizes it perfect. Feel you and your feelings, and there you
Right,
go.
right.
So, next question is, what inspires you to write? Which I mean, you kind of already been talking about that, but you want to highlight
It's
it
different
more?
things really. It's a very long story if I want to start from the beginning because I've been writing since I was like 13. I
Okay.
wrote my first poem. That was because of love, teenage love. I was writing poems for my then girlfriend. And then I stopped. When I migrated to the US, I stopped writing. I was focusing on working, paying bills, and things of that nature. And then my father passed away. That's what got me into writing again because I needed a way to grieve. I needed a way to grieve that doesn't really burden other people. So I kind of put all my emotion into my writing. Started writing a lot about my father's death, about death itself, and about grief. And then after that, it all became more about social issues, things I care about, like racism and things of that nature.
Right. I like how you started, how you said you wanted to start where it actually started when you were 13. I really like how you brought up some history of everything because it really gives you a lot of details about where each, how you said, each novel has your own emotion kind of in it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Pretty
whatever you're
much.
going through in life, exactly, whatever you're going through life, that's what you're going to
But
get that time. So,
hey, absolutely, you said it best.
yep. Next question is, when did you first realize you wanted to be a writer? So I guess 13, but more on that. I'd like to know that.
But I was really writing more for fun. I was writing poems and just
Hmm.
giving them to people as a gift. I wasn't really trying to be published until I was doing my master's. I was doing my master's and I finished writing my thesis. My thesis was like 128 pages long. Then I
Oh,
said to
wow.
myself, hold on, wait a minute. This is like a book. I could write a book. So that's what
Right.
kind of got me into trying to write a book and actually get published.
That's exciting about that. I actually didn't know about the master's whole thing with about that, but whew, that's a lot of pages and
It
words.
is
And
a lot of words,
I'm kind of
yes,
scared now because
yes.
I'm going into
But then
that.
once I finished it, I was holding it in my hand. I'm like, this is like a book. I could write a book. And that's when I decided to write my first book.
Oh, that's awesome. So next question I have for you is, how important are book reviews?
I think it really depends on the platform
Mm-hmm.
because some platform you can actually pay for them. So I don't think they're as important if you can buy them. Some platform where there are actual reviews for people who have read your book, I think that's very important. I think even a very bad review is important because it tells you that someone read your book and had some emotion and had some reaction to it. Not necessarily bad in terms of the writing itself, but if they don't like the story, if they feel like it was too harsh. Like my first book, I got two very bad reviews, and I think these were my favorite reviews because there was such strong emotion. And I'm thinking to myself, if I can write something that causes such strong emotion in people, then I'm doing something right.
That's great. I love that. I really like that because most of the time people think that the bad reviews are their failures or whatever.
Right.
But how you just worded that, yeah, I think everybody needs to hear that for sure. So that good advice right there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I appreciate that. So the next thing is, what is your favorite part of being a writer?
My favorite part is really to inspire. Even when I write about personal stuff, if I can find one or two people who can relate to it, I feel like I've done a good job. When someone write me back and say, "Hey, your poem inspired me to do blah blah blah," or "Your poem inspired me and helped me through something I was going that was very bad." I had someone who was going through a divorce and they sent me a very long Instagram message to help me understand how my poems help them go through that divorce. That kind of made my day because I feel like I'm putting something out there that has value to other people.
That's nice. I like that. All right. So I have just two more questions for you, and then we'll wrap up here.
Right.
So add as much details as you want to these next two questions because we got some time. So, um, next question: what makes a great story?
What makes a good story? It's interesting because I feel like this question keeps going back to what we were speaking about before,
Mhm.
about writing from the heart. I think that's part of what makes a great story. When people feel like it's not only unique, but it's true. You're not making something up. Even if writing a book of fiction, the story has to sound true to people. They have to feel it. They have to feel like that's something that could happen to them in real life. And I think that's the best. I don't want to say that's the best attribute that an author could have, but I think that's very important to be able to relate to people and to write something that is not so out of touch that people cannot relate to.
Right. Yep, that is a good one for a great story. We always have to connect with each other on some type of
Right.
level, whether it be, like you said, some people may connect with you on your poetry, and then some may connect to you on your novels. So being able to, like you said, please at least 2 to 3 people, that's as good as all you really honestly need, because that got your point across so that they can understand that. So that's
Right.
all it.
Because at the end of the day, we can think of ourselves as very strong and not needing validation. But as
Mhm.
artists, we always need validation. We always need someone to appreciate our art. That's one aspect that we need to accept and try to focus on when we are putting things out there. If you put something out there that no one can relate to, only you understand, what
Mhm.
value does it really have to people, to the community?
Yep, exactly. That's exactly right. All right. How do you handle writer's block? Is your last question.
I'm trying to be very careful in responding to that question because I've had that discussion online a few times, and I felt like I was often misunderstood.
Hmm.
When I say I don't have writer's block, I never have writer's block. And the reason for it is that I don't I don't give myself a deadline. I feel like writer's block really comes with the deadline, with the pressure to write. So I only write when I'm inspired to write. If I don't feel like I'm inspired, I go about my day and do something else. I will not sit in front of the computer and try to come up with something because I don't have, I'm self-published, so I don't have any deadline
Right.
to submit any manuscript. So I can
Hmm.
decide, you know what, I'm not feeling it today. Let me go play soccer or let me go watch TV. So I don't necessarily have to deal with, I guess the way I deal with writer's block is just not to write at all and just
Yeah.
go do something else.
Right. Actually, I like that because I didn't even think of that for me, because I don't really write a lot anymore. And well, even when I did, I felt like I had writer's block, but like you said, it's since you're self published and stuff, you don't give yourself a deadline. I never
Right.
gave myself a deadline. I just wanted to keep writing the story, and I just want to be able to finish it. Yeah, I am actually, as I got older, since I'm 29 now, I'm actually trying to give myself deadlines to, you need to finish this, Karen. So, but yeah, the whole not giving yourself a deadline doesn't give you pressure, doesn't cause
Right,
stress,
right,
doesn't give you anything. And I feel like that's what a lot of people get into when they're becoming an author and everything. They just are so stuck on the final goal that they don't see the small little steps that they can just work themselves around, of so that they will not become stressed or anything, or have writer's block, as I've just talked about. So,
because I also feel like writing is not the same. When you're trying to force it, the story doesn't flow the same. It's like you're
mhm.
constantly rewriting a passage. I don't enjoy that part of it. So that's why I don't try to force it.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. I'm really glad I got to interview you, because you got to help me actually, with my little thinking process of my writing. So, well, thank you again for that. And
No, thank you.
do you want to highlight anything on your poetry books, or your novel really quick?
Of
Or
course, yes. I have two books of poems out there.
Mhm.
One is called in fact, give me a second. If I could find a copy to show you, that'll be easier.
All right. All right. We only have
All
about
right,
two
sorry
more
about that.
minutes. No, you're
Yes.
fine.
So my books of poems, I have two books of poems. The first one that I published is called Beneath the Veil of Time. It's very personal stuff. It talks about my grief and how I handled losing my dad and how I handled migrating to a different country, having to learn a new language. And my second book of poems is called Paint Her in Dark Colors.
Oh,
That's actually my favorite because it really, it's not necessarily about me, it's about how I've interacted with my relationships in the past and how they help me understand life and how they help me understand the evolution of our feelings. the way I dealt with something 2 years ago is not gonna be the way I'm gonna be dealing with it now. So that's like an evolution process where I also celebrate a lot of my muses, so to speak. And my most recent book that I published last year is a novel. It's called They Called Us Savages. This is
Hmm.
about the history of Haiti. It's about the struggle of the Haitian people, and I think it's a very interesting read, especially with what's going on now, where Haiti is in the news almost every other week. I think it's very important to highlight the history of Haiti and all the things that we have accomplished throughout time. Well, that was very personal for me. So yeah, that's
Yep,
pretty much.
I like both of your books. I didn't know that you had two poetry books. I knew about your last one. So, but that's awesome. I really like that background information on all that, your books and stuff. So, but
And,
you
and of
are,
course, my books are on Instagram. If you want to purchase them from Instagram, they're on TikTok, they're on Amazon, and they are pretty much they're on Barnes and Noble.
yes. And I will also put all of his links and stuff in the bio down below. So make sure that you all check him out. Thank you again,
Of
author
course,
Wes,
anytime. And
coming on.
one more thing I'll add is if
Yes.
you are interested in um, publishing your book with my company, I will be happy to publish your books.
Yep. Forgot about that. He is a publisher too. He can help publish any type of book. So, I might actually take you up on that offer for me personally, honestly, because I need somebody. So, might need to talk to you a little bit about that on the side.
Absolutely.
But all right. Thank you
All
again for
right.
all.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. You have a good rest of your day.
All
Bye,
right.
everybody. Thanks for
Thank you.
coming.
Bye.